Hello, everybody. This is William Hemphill, host of the Faith and Family Matters podcast. I'm a minister and a therapist that helps couples work through conflict. I also help people navigate through imposter syndrome and find out who they are in the image of God. So, I wanted to talk to us from a subject today. Longevity in love is a byproduct of good habits. Longevity in love is a byproduct of good habits. And I wanted to talk about this because we are close to Valentine's Day, which is the season of love. And in my work with couples, we often celebrate people who've been together 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, so on, decades together. And I like to say that is a blessing. But I think one of the things that happens at times is we often look at longevity in relationship as the goal when it should be the byproduct of good habits. And so I just want to talk for a few minutes from my experience as a therapist and clergy person, but also from my almost 30 years of marriage, some habits that help create longevity in love. So, the first habit that I have up that says that can help create longevity in love is the ability to handle conflict in a relationship. The ability to handle conflict in a relationship. Now, I know this from almost 30 years of marriage, but I also know this from working with hundreds of couples navigating through conflict. As a matter of fact, in my work, I often talk about what I call the conflict cycle or the reactive cycle. It's that cycle that occurs when we're triggered in our hearts from some pain, we react, and then our reaction has a way of hitting our spouse's trigger, and they react, and away we go. What I've noticed is that any conflict we have is usually due to that reactive cycle, and you can throw any topic in there. You can throw parenting in there. That's one of the things that me and my spouse often conflicted on is different parenting style. You can throw in-laws in there. You can throw money in there. You can throw dating, fun, vacations. You name the topic. If it goes into that reactive cycle, there's conflict that occurs. And so I like to say one of the keys of long-term success is the ability to handle conflict in a relationship. And I like to give a hint. When you notice that you're in conflict, do two things. One, take a time out for about 30 or so minutes to calm yourself down. Two, come back and discuss what occurred. But when you come back, make sure it's a time when both of you can actually have a discussion. Because when you get into conflict, usually that conflict has some meaning to us. So, one key to longevity in love is the ability to handle conflict in a relationship. Another key, number two, the ability to have fun in your relationship. Whether that's dating, vacations, trips, exercise, whatever it is, the ability to have fun in the relationship. As a marriage therapist, one of the things that I often notice with couples is after they've been married for a long period of time, 5, 10, 15 years, whatever it might be, I like to say the business of marriage gets in the way of the fun of marriage. What do I mean by that? The business of marriage is those things like, hey, how do we pay the bills? Who takes one child to school while the other child goes to practice? Who cares for the parents when things are going on? Who stays at work? Who buys the home? How much can we spend on a home? All of these different things that show up in the business of marriage. And if we are not careful, we can forget to have fun. And the truth is, for most people that date, they have fun with their significant others. But we can forget that. And so, my encouragement is to always remember to find ways to have fun. Going out on dates weekly, bi weekly, whatever the date is. I often say a date is a way that the two of you can spend time together and connect. I know in my relationship, different seasons of life mean different things. Sometimes when we both have had long work weeks, a date is a Friday night, eating some pizza and watching our favorite shows that we didn't watch all week. That could be that. But sometimes a date might be going to a concert, might be going on vacation. It could be different things. But remember to have fun in a relationship because if you can have fun, that is a key to longevity in love. Another key to longevity in love is the ability to handle the business of a relationship. I like to say, hey, we're partners in this thing together. And so because we're partners, we have to have partnership in parenting and caring for elders, especially if you're in the sandwich generation, whether it's buying a home, financial goals, career goals, whatever it might be, there has to be an ability to work as partners in the relationship. I know when I work with couples, I prefer to talk about a win-win process where both people can win. Because what happens if we operate in a win-lose model, the person who feels like that they lost has often becomes resentful. And so the ability to handle the business of a relationship is a key to longevity and love. So there are three keys right there. Here's key number four. A key to longevity and love is the ability to be intimate with each other. And what do I mean by that? It's that ability to share those innermost thoughts and fears with each other. It's that ability to be able to respect and love each other. It's that ability to love each other physically, mentally, sexually, so on and so forth. Understand that being intimate means to be vulnerable or opening up. As a matter of fact, we can talk about how intimacy simply means to know or to be known. And in order for us to open up to be intimate with each other, we have to be safe or we have to feel safe. And that safety is physically, emotionally, mentally, sexually, and spiritually. So if I give you a key on how to be intimate, is to show up safe mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Another key to longevity in love is the desire to improve your relationship. There's a book that I read. I can't remember the title. I mean, I remember the title. I believe it's The Four Seasons of Marriage. I can't remember the author. But one of the things the author was talking about was that in spring and summer marriages, marriages that are going well, couples invest in their relationship. So, what kind of things are we doing to invest in our relationship? Is it seminars we go to together, books we read together, counseling that we do together, continuous learning and growing? And let me add to this as a therapist, you don't have to wait till things are bad to go see a marital therapist. As a matter of fact, I would recommend going periodically before things get tough, because when things get bad, there's often a lot of pent up hurt and anger and pain on the inside that makes it difficult to do the work. And so I like to say, as a couple, if you want longevity in love, invest in your relationship. Here's another one. For longevity in love, the ability to do good self care. The ability to do good self care. I often say that two healthy individuals make up a healthy relationship. What that simply means is that each of us in the relationship have to learn to take care of ourselves well. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, doing good self care so we can show up well. I often say this to my clients. If my spouse is hungry and I'm tired, we don't talk very much. Why do I say that? We have learned over the years that when my spouse is hungry, she often becomes very short tempered. When I haven't slept well for a couple of days, I often become very short-tempered. And so what I like to say is when that combination shows up, we're just asking for a fight. And so we've learned when we start to bicker sometimes is to check those things. Did I eat today? How have I been resting? What else is going on? Because that allows us to show up safe in our marriage. And so the ability to do good self-care as much as possible is a key to longevity and love. And then the final thing that I would add to this as a key to having longevity and love is the ability to find humor in life experiences. Humor in life experiences. My wife and I, we were having a discussion another day, and I can't quite remember what the discussion was. But whatever was going on, I was saying something and she wasn't understanding me. She couldn't hear me or understand me. And I noticed I was starting to get frustrated. So I did this thing. Never mind. I don't know if any of you done that. Never mind was kind of short and sweet. And she was like, "Dear, what's up?" And I was like, "Never mind. It's not important." So I went on upstairs and she was like, let out a big sigh. Came downstairs. We probably both had time to calm down a little bit. And she said, "What were you talking about? You act like I knew what you were talking about." And she said something about fudge and fiddlesticks. You act like you said something real deep and I heard fudge and fiddlesticks. And we both started cracking up because it was just funny. And so we eventually made up. But now one of our jokes is to say fudge and fiddlesticks. When we don't understand each other, we say fudge and fiddlesticks, and we both just start cracking up. Because the ability to find humor in life is very important. I'll be honest, a lot of the things that we have fought about over the past 20 and 30 years, a lot of them we don't remember, some we do, but some we have made fun jokes about. Our little phrases, my wife has a phrase. She's a project manager. I need you to do this. And so now I joke now, say, do you really need me to do it? We joke and laugh about these things because we find humor in life. And so another key to finding longevity in love is finding humor in life experiences. So I hope those tips help you. I'll repeat them again quickly. To find longevity in love, have the ability to handle conflict in your relationship, have the ability to have fun in your relationship, have the ability to handle the business and partnership of a relationship, have the ability to be safe and intimate with each other, have the ability to connect spiritually. I think I might have missed that one. The ability to be able to connect with God, the one who created us, molded us, and made us and loves us. And I'd like to say not only the ability to connect with God, but it's extra powerful when you can do that together. I can't tell you the number of times that my wife has prayed for me, and it has brought me relief and strength in handling tough situations in life, business, and ministry. I can't tell you the number of times that I have prayed with her, and it's helped her to navigate things with life, business, ministry, family, so on and so forth. The ability to work as a team in prayer, connecting spiritually with God is so important. And so I would say that one is important too. The desire to do things to improve your relationship is a key to longevity and love. The ability to do good self-care, and then finally, the ability to laugh at life experiences. So those are just some things that I want us to keep in mind as we enter this Valentine's season, hoping that you can have a long-lasting, powerful, and joyous love with your spouse, with your significant other. This is William Hemphill with the Faith and Family Matters podcast, thanking you for joining us today. If you would like to know more about how to work with me, please go to my site at www.faithandfamilyempowerment.com. Take care and have a wonderful week and enjoy your loved one during this Valentine's love season.